Good afternoon. I wanted to talk about two relatively uncommon trees. They're just not very well known compared to other tropicals, like guavas, anonas, longans. But these two trees will tolerate our frost and also loves our summer. The first tree is going to be this guy right here, the Capulin Cherry, native to Mexico. As you can see, this guy is loaded with flowers. The nice thing about the Capulin Cherry is it generally fruits usually in the first year after you put it in the ground. So this guy is a heavy producer. He's been in the ground for a little over 2 years now. Quite fast growing. When it was in the ground, it was about 3 feet or so. However, right now it is approaching a little over 12 feet tall. So what you see here really is just 2 years worth of growth. Just one tip on the fruits. Birds, for some reason, love these fruits once it ripens. I mean, unfortunately, last year when it produced fruits, I really didn't even get a chance to taste any of the fruits before the birds plucked it all out. But this year, just based on the fact that it is just so heavily loaded, I don't expect that to be a problem for me this year. So the Capulin Cherry, although it's native to Mexico, will handle our temperature and more so too. I mean, you're talking, this thing can get down to about 19 degrees without suffering any damage. I mean, that's pretty good for a tropical cherry. So unlike a typical cherry tree, this guy does not need any chill out. I mean, it will retain its foliage like this throughout the year. During the summertime, even 105, 110 degrees, I mean, this guy will take the heat. I mean, the more heat you throw at it, the bigger it grows. So yeah, very fast growing tree. So as with most fast growing trees, I should mention, if you look at the ropes that I've got supporting the tree, structurally for the first couple of years they need a lot of guidance in terms of structural support. So that's why I've got it basically supporting the tree with the ropes. So the thing with the Capulin Cherry is it is actually quite tolerant of our clay soil. Yeah, this guy, I mean, it wouldn't hurt him in the soil, but it really just does quite well in our soil. So that's Capulin Cherry for you. The other tree that I wanted to talk about is actually going to be this guy right here. This particular tree goes by a lot of names. Most commonly known as a jamun, though in the Philippines, where this tree is native to, it's known as a Duhat. It can also be known as a Java plum. Another fast-growing tree. Looking at the size of the tree, it's approaching about 16 feet or so in height. If you look at the size of a tree, you would think this tree's been in the ground for a while. But 16 feet, this has only been in the ground for a little over 3 years. When we first planted it in the ground, it really was, and I kid you not, it was about maybe a foot high. And yeah, it's grown quite well here. Another tree that is very tolerant of our soil, loves the summer, and it has no problem at all with our cold. No leaf drops at all. And speaking of the leaves, I just like this just because when you look at the foliage, it looks very artificial looking. It almost looks plasticky. It almost looks fake. But yeah, I mean, it's a very attractive looking tree. Another tree that for the first couple of years you'll want to structurally assist, hence the ropes that I've got here tied to the pergola. So just one note on these two trees being crazy fast growers. If you've noticed the position that I've got them in, they are relatively in the center of my yard. The root systems are going to be massive. I mean, these two trees anchor their roots deep into the ground. So just move it away from your property. It may wreck the foundation of your property. So anyhow, yeah, just two trees that are just not quite commonly known. I mean, you probably are never going to be able to find the fruits in your local supermarket. But they do phenomenally well here in the Central Valley. So anyhow, all right, have a good afternoon.